Hi everyone, I am Crystal. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and I work for the Bronx VA Medical Center. And today I want to talk about respecting and appreciating your body. Given this difficult time right now, our movement probably looks different. We might be moving less. Our eating likely looks very different than it did before this pandemic a couple of days, a couple of months, a couple of weeks ago. The way we're taking care of ourselves right now likely looks very different. So a lot of times with this comes a lot of food preoccupation, body preoccupation, worry. I'm hearing a lot right now about people worrying about gaining weight. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna gain the COVID-15, associating this with like the freshman 15. So I really wanna use this time today to help you feel more at peace with your body given this difficult time where there might be more worries and concerns related to our bodies and how they look. So first, before I kind of dive in, I want to read you a quote. And keep in mind, this quote actually comes from a book called Intuitive Eating. And a lot of what I'm going to share with you today are bits and pieces from a lecture that I provide to veterans enrolled in the Intuitive Eating Nutrition course at the Bronx VA. So I'm going to read the quote to you now. The quote is, "Accept your genetic blueprint. Just as a person with a shoe size of 8 would not expect to realistically squeeze into a size 6, it is equally as uncomfortable to have the same expectation with body size. But mostly, respect your body so you can feel better about who you are. It's hard to feel better about yourself if you're unrealistic and overly critical about your body shape." So I'm going to review with you a negative cycle that tends to happen, that could be happening to you more so right now. So when we are experience body vigilance, which is essentially just keeping a careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. For example, what we perceive as danger as, oh no, weight gain, keeping a careful watch out for that weight gain. That leads to a lot of body worry, worrying about how our body looks, appears, which then tends to lead to food worry. Oh no, worrying about what we're eating and drinking and just more of our time and energy just being taken up by worrying about food. And then this may lead to dieting. And then the dieting, or restricting what we're eating or drastically changing what we're eating, cutting out various food groups. There's many forms of dieting. This leads to more body vigilance, keeping that careful watch for dangers or difficulties. And this cycle kind of continues and perpetuates itself. So I always like to ask, think about how this body worry, food worry, dieting, body vigilance, think about how this has served you. Has worrying about your weight or certain body parts actually helped you at all? So I just want to make a couple comments on body image. So one thing I really want to hone in on is that you don't need to lose weight to start taking care of yourself. I'm going to repeat this. You don't need to lose weight to start taking care of yourself. You can choose to take care of yourself in this moment, in this day, right here, right now. You don't have to delay goals or actions until you lose weight. So many times, patients I work with tell me, oh, well, I'll go to the gym once I lose those 10 pounds, or I'll start being more fit once I lose the next 5 pounds. So we really want to try and really embrace the fact that you don't have to delay goals and actions until you lose weight. You want to start taking care of yourself. Don't put off taking care of yourself to reach some arbitrary weight loss goal. You can be healthy at any size, truly. A person in a larger body can be healthy. A person in a smaller body can be healthy. A person in a smaller body can be unhealthy. We can't judge health based off of how someone looks. And respecting and appreciating our body, which I'm going to get into some tools in a moment to do so, really helps you make peace with your body. It doesn't mean that you love your body, you love every single body part, you love everything about your body. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Respecting and appreciating your body means really meeting its basic needs. Its basic needs for nourishment, basic needs for hydration, basic needs for love and belonging and connection. as human beings, we have basic needs, and no matter what our size, we need to make sure we're meeting those needs and address those needs. We want to treat our body with dignity. So what we're going to do now is talk about some tips how to respect your body. Some things that hopefully after this mini lecture you can start to practice immediately and take with you, and maybe share with others who are going through a difficult time right now with respecting and appreciating their body. So tip number 1, get comfortable. Buy clothes that fit you comfortably. There's nothing, I feel like if you're wearing smaller clothes, think yoga pants that fit you way too tight, or underwear that's too tight, a shirt that's too tight, whatever it might be, anything that's uncomfortable, that serves as a reminder of maybe what you don't feel satisfied with your body. So you really want to get comfortable. Dress for your here and now body, not for the body how you'd like to be. So get rid of those clothes that you've been keeping for a while that you just think, oh, if I lose those 10, 20, 30 pounds, I will fit back into them. We want to really dress for our here and now body. That's actually one way we start to respect and appreciate it. And sometimes people say to me, well, Crystal, I don't have the money right now to be buying new clothes, comfortable clothes. Well, I just challenge you to think about all the money that you might have spent on dieting and weight loss programs in the past, or supplements, or some of those things that end up costing a lot of money. So really thinking about how you can get more comfortable maybe with your current clothes and in your current body. And really try not to wear clothes that make you feel uncomfortable. Changing your body assessment tools. So if you notice that weighing yourself doesn't feel good, don't do it, okay? If anything doesn't feel good to you, it's probably not serving you. And again, don't use clothes as a measure of body shifts, okay? We want to change our body assessment tools and get rid of those old clothes that don't fit well. Try as best as you can. It might be easier now that we're kind of indoors, social distancing. A lot of my patients are telling me this specific aspect of respecting and appreciating our body has been a little bit easier. Quitting the body check game, meaning avoid comparing ourselves to other bodies or other people's eating habits. You don't know what the other person has gone through to get where they are. So a lot of times if someone loses a lot of weight, family members, friends, whoever might say, wow, you look great, what did you do? Well, that person might be starving themselves. They might have an eating disorder. They might be over-exercising. They might actually not even be healthy. Their body might be struggling. So we don't want to judge someone's health based off of how they look, as I mentioned earlier. Another thing that you can do to respect your body is not compromising for the quote unquote big event. There's always going to be an event coming up that you feel you need to look your best for, whether it's a wedding, a birthday party, a reunion. I had someone tell me that, I just want to lose 20 pounds in a month to get to my high school reunion. So there's always going to be a big event or something you can use as a big event. Choose an outfit that fits your here and now body so that you feel comfortable. Spend the time leading up to the event thinking about how you can engage in meaningful ways during this event versus trying how to shrink yourself. Another thing that you can do, number 5, is stop body bashing. So focusing on your imperfect body, so constantly focusing on your imperfections, what you don't like, my thighs are so big, my arms are so big, my stomach's so flabby, etc. This leads to more self-consciousness and body worry. Again, it gets us into that vicious cycle that leads to food worry, dieting, body vigilance, body worry. So it's difficult to respect your body if you're constantly degrading it. You want to look for body parts you like or tolerate if it's difficult to think of a body part that you like. So a tip for this is actually each time you have a negative body thought to disarm it and replace it with a kind statement that you believe. And it has to be something you actually believed. You don't want to feel like you're lying to yourself. So for example, saying instead of, like, if you notice catching yourself saying, I hate my thighs, maybe saying, I'm going to replace that with I like my smile, or I like my eyes, I like my calves, I like my hair, etc. It can be anything that you might like or appreciate about your body. If this is too difficult, finding something you like, again, you can find a respectful statement. So for example, instead of saying I hate my cellulite legs, you may be saying I'm lucky I have legs that could move my body. Or my body is, if you're thinking my body is out of shape and horrible, thinking my body got me to school while I was working and finishing my degree, so it was hard to work out optimally. Or my body got me through birthing 3 children. Something that you respect about your body. Try those respectful statements. Be aware of fat talk. So fat talk is basically a public form of body bashing, that negative body talk. I'm so fat, my thighs are big, I don't look good in this. When we participate in these conversations that allow these negative body talks and almost make it normal, become normalized, this actually reduces our body dissatisfaction, dieting, and eating disorder symptoms when we get away from the fat talk and negative body talk. So something I challenge you to do is something I call the and practice. So when you're feeling uncomfortable in your body, try and change your vocabulary. So I'm not saying that you totally disregard what you're feeling, right? Think of, if you, instead of using very negative or judgmental terms about your body, like flabby, fat, puffy, etc., maybe use words such as uncomfortable. I feel really uncomfortable today, instead of I feel really fat today or large today. Or challenging, I feel challenged today with my relationship with my body, or I feel uneasy in my body today. That sounds much kinder and more neutral, again, trying to find those more neutral words than using something very judgmental, like fat, which is a judgment. Think of at least 3 other qualities when you are having these negative body thoughts, which they're gonna come up, right? You're human. It's not to say that you're wrong for thinking these things, but think of at least 3 other qualities about yourself that have nothing to do with your appearance, and add "and" to your statement. So for example, I'm having a challenging body day, and I'm a hard worker, a good parent, and a loyal friend. Another way to respect our body is respect body diversity. So feet are not one size fits all, as I shared with you earlier in that quote, and neither are bodies. So people in larger bodies don't necessarily overeat or avoid physical activity. We have studies on this. Research supports this. We really can't judge how someone takes care of themselves based on their body type or their health. We know that we know when we look at studies, weightism or fatism, so showing prejudice against someone in regards to their body size or how they look, this actually has negative health consequences. So weight stigma stigmatizing someone based on their weight has serious medical and psychological consequences. We really need to start respecting body diversity. We want to be realistic. So when we're respecting and appreciating our body, being realistic is important, because to maintain or obtain your weight, you have to restrict and or exercise for hours, then your weight goal for your body is absolutely not realistic. I see this a lot when people tell me, oh, I just want to get back to, when I was my quote unquote healthiest self in my 30s, and I just looked great, I felt good. And I'll say, well, what were you doing to achieve that weight or that body? How were you feeling? What were you doing? And a lot of times they were over exercising or under eating, and that was actually not their body's natural healthy set point range that it wanted to be at. So think about your genetics when you're being realistic. What does your family look like, right? We need to be realistic and have realistic expectations for our body. Do nice things for your body. So your body deserves to be pampered and touched. So some examples are, taking a bath, putting nice lotions on or creams on, or, getting a massage. Not now in the pandemic, but maybe in the future. Do something nice for your body that you really enjoy. Maybe it's blow drying your hair, whatever floats your boat. So when it comes to respecting and appreciating our body, sometimes we really have to say goodbye to this fantasy that our ideal weight or the body that we've been thinking about, maybe it's not realistic for us, and we kind of have to mourn that and say goodbye to that. And especially right now during this difficult time, we might have an unrealistic expectation of what our movement should look like, what our eating should look like right now, what our body should look like right now. So we really want to practice self-compassion, being kind to ourselves. And a good place to start is starting with some of these tips. My personal favorite is just getting comfortable and really wearing clothes that just make me feel good, and that aren't too tight or don't fit well, or clothes that remind us of the aspects of our bodies that we don't love, that may lead to some of that fat talk or body dissatisfaction thoughts. So, in wrapping up, those are the tips I have for you today on respecting and appreciating your body. I hope that after this mini lecture, you have really taken away some tools, tips, and resources that you could share with others, that maybe you could practice for yourself to facilitate more body kindness and appreciation. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.